Microsoft's Remote Desktop Protocol, or RDP, is a powerful tool. It's the digital equivalent of being able to sit at your office computer from anywhere in the world. Imagine your work desktop with all its files. Imagine your work desktop with applications. Imagine your work desktop with network access. Mirrored on your laptop at home or in a coffee shop. That's the magic of RDP. It uses a client-server model. The RDP client on your local machine. The RDP server running on your remote machine. This creates a secure, encrypted channel. It lets you see the remote screen and control it with your mouse and keyboard as if you were physically there. It's incredibly convenient in our remote and hybrid work world. That convenience made RDP a cornerstone of modern IT. System admins use it to manage servers across data centers from their desks. Employees use it to access specialized software. Employees use it to access sensitive data that can't leave the corporate network. It's built for productivity and flexibility. Businesses of all sizes rely on it every single day. The protocol is deeply embedded in Windows. It's often the default solution for remote access. Adoption is widespread, second nature for Windows IT pros. However, widespread use and direct desktop access make RDP a prime target for cybercriminals. Think from an attacker's perspective. The first step for any attacker is reconnaissance. They need to find systems that are listening for RDP connections. The default RDP port is 3389. Attackers use automated scanning tools, Shodan, Nmap, to sweep vast ranges of IP addresses. They are simply looking for any server that responds on port 3389. It's like walking down a street and checking every door to see which ones are unlocked. These scans are constant and indiscriminate, run by botnets all over the world. If you have an RDP port open to the internet, it's not a matter of if it will be found, but when. It will be found, and it will be tested. Once a list of potential targets is compiled, the initial access phase begins. The most common method is a brute force attack. Attackers use Hydra, or custom scripts, to try thousands or even millions of username and password combinations. Administrator most common passwords, previously leaked credentials. This is an automated, low-effort attack that relies on weak or reused passwords. Phishing is another highly effective tactic for compromising RDP. An attacker might send a carefully crafted email to an employee that appears to be from the IT department. The email could claim there's a security issue and instruct the user to log into a fake RDP portal to verify their credentials. Once an attacker successfully authenticates to an RDP session, their first goal is to solidify access and escalate privileges. They want the master key. They are inside the house but might only be in the foyer. They want the master key. They use tools like Mimikatz to dump credentials from memory. This can reveal passwords or password hashes of other users, including high-privileged domain administrators. With those credentials, they can move from one workstation to the entire network. A small breach becomes a catastrophic incident. The entry point becomes a beachhead for internal attacks. The entry point becomes a beachhead for internal attacks. They can use the compromised RDP client to connect to other systems, making malicious traffic look like normal internal activity. Detection becomes extremely difficult, making malicious activity blend in with normal operations. The attacker maps the network and finds file servers, databases, and domain controllers. The goal is to become a permanent resident. Persistence. They create hidden user accounts and install backdoors. They may install rootkits or remote access trojans to survive reboots. These survive reboots and ensure regain of access. They use scheduled tasks or modify services to auto-launch malware. At this stage, the attacker is woven into the network, making eradication extremely hard. The system is no longer yours, it's a shared space and they hold all the cards. Next, data theft and covering tracks. With deep and persistent access established, the attacker moves to their primary objective, monetization. For many, this means data theft. They use their internal access to locate the most valuable information: customer databases, financial records, intellectual property, trade secrets, personal employee information. They don't just grab random files, they are surgical. They use scripts to search for specific keywords and data patterns, filtering by file types, and pattern matching to find what matters most. Once located, the data is compressed and encrypted into archives. This makes it easier to exfiltrate and harder for DLP to inspect. The exfiltration process is designed to be slow and stealthy. Instead of downloading a massive file in one go, they break it into small chunks. They then leak this data out over days or even weeks, often using encrypted channels like DNS tunneling or hiding files in normal web uploads. hiding data within normal-looking web traffic to common cloud storage sites. By the time the organization realizes, the data may already be for sale on dark web marketplaces, or being used for extortion. After the data is secured, many attackers deploy ransomware as their final act. From a central position, they can encrypt hundreds or thousands of systems in minutes. The final step is to cover their tracks, deleting logs, disabling security services, and time-stomping files. Defending against RDP attacks in 2025 requires a multi-layered strategy. This means building multiple controls that work together. First and foremost, never expose RDP directly to the internet. Place it behind a remote desktop gateway or a VPN. This forces authentication before any RDP attempt. It eliminates internet-wide port scanning and brute force attempts. Strengthening authentication is non-negotiable. Enforce strong, unique passwords and account lockouts. Combine this with strict lockout policies to block brute force bots. More importantly, implement multi-factor authentication everywhere. A second factor prevents login even if passwords are stolen. Use hardware keys for high-risk accounts. Vigilant monitoring and timely patching are critical. Use a robust patch management program to keep RDP servers and clients up to date. This closes the vulnerabilities attackers seek to exploit. Enable detailed RDP logging and forward logs to a CM. Monitor for unusual times, locations, and repeated failures. These are early warning signs of an attack in progress. Adopt least privilege. Users only get what they need. Restrict RDP access to essential personnel and narrow permissions. Combine this with network segmentation to limit lateral movement. Stay informed and be vigilant. Build layered defenses and watch for anomalies. In cybersecurity, an ounce of prevention is worth a ton of cure.